You're listening to an ATYL Media production.
Drivers, this is your warning. Race above the yellow line. If in NASCAR's judgment you go below the yellow line to improve your position, you will be black flagged.
Ladies and gentlemen, tighten your belts. Get ready for the big one. It is post Daytona 500 here on Below the Yellow Line. I am one half of your hosting crew here, Sal and Buddy, joined each and every week by the infamous Buddy Pulley. Infamous? Is that a good one for you, buddy?
Infamous has a negative connotation.
Does it?
Yeah, I was told that.
Uh-oh.
I called something infamous in a video, and they're like, "What's so bad about it?" And I looked it up, and typically it does have a negative connotation. Which, I mean, honestly, you and many other people probably have a negative connotation, so that might be good. That might be good.
It's all rainbows, sunshine, and unicorn farts over here, buddy. We love you so much.
Okay. All right.
We're glad you're back here with us for another week, here together for another week, I should say, to talk a little Daytona 500. We got a pretty packed kind of deal here tonight. Recording this is going to be an earful. So if you, get your Q-tips, clean out the wax, get ready, because we're gonna fill your ears.
You're not supposed to clean out your ears with Q-tips.
Are we medical doctors, buddy? Are we giving health advice to people?
If you're taking medical advice from us,
you got problems.
Yeah, you're gonna have a rough time. Our diet consists of beer,
White Monster, beef sticks from Costco.
Monster. I'm drinking a Sun Drop right now.
Sugar, we love sugar.
I had some good pizza during the 500 yesterday. Real good pizza. Local joint down the road at Die-In Spot. Yeah.
I'd like to hear more about your pizza experience later on in the show.
Yeah.
I'd like to understand what Raleigh pizza tastes like without actually having to try it. We'll get to that later.
All right.
Speaking of things that are round, minus the sauce, the wheels were turning in ARCA to start the weekend.
That was awful.
I'm trying, man. Gio Ruggiero won in the ARCA race, was top 5 in the trucks. Good weekend for him, but that ARCA race had a lot of hype around it because of Cletus McFarland. Cletus ultimately bringing it home in P11. Not a bad race. I didn't think there was too much from the ARCA side of the weekend to talk about. Anything you pulled from that race or felt was worth mentioning this week?
Gio Ruggiero does not smile. Just putting it out there. I mean, I've seen the man win a couple of races now. Have not seen him smile.
Serious.
Yeah. Bro he's like, I got one mission. I'm getting to the Cup Series and I'm gonna hate life just as much when I get there too. But that's my mission. So that was really my only takeaway from the ARCA race. Cletus, that was fun. I actually I watched Cletus's YouTube stream, and I will say Cletus, I didn't really buy into the gimmick at first, but I'm kind of coming around to him. Okay. He seems to be actually trying, and is able to. He's balancing the seriousness of it and the character of Cletus McFarland well, and so I give him a little credit there.
Yeah,
11th place run, not too bad.
I can only agree with you, because I had a friend who even texted me kind of as the devil's advocate to your point, where he was like, talking about Cletus's run in the truck series, we'll get to that, but talking about Cletus in the trucks and being frustrated with the fact that because somebody came in with a big checkbook and a big social following that they got that ride. And I was like, man, I think he's a little more serious about it than you realize. So I think maybe, to me, and I'm sure he has his own plans for what he's doing in the motorsports space. Like, if he had been introduced to this a little bit younger, I could have seen him take it a lot more seriously, just because of how passionate he is about it now. So I think there's definitely some perspective there.
And then I guess hopping into the truck race, obviously he has the wreck on lap 6, and my biggest takeaway from this whole deal, and we could talk about, I guess, his skill issue there off of turn 4. But I did appreciate that he didn't wreck on lap 6 and then come out of the infield care center all just goofy and Cletusing it up. You know, he was kind of he had his quips and such, but he was very real about the situation, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, 100%. I think he really wanted to do well in that race, and he knew that it was on him 100%. I was really glad though that when he did wreck, it was a isolated kind of incident where he kind of spun off on his own.
Yeah,
Because I in my head I could only imagine the headlines that would have been if he had cleaned out, half the field of regulars.
dude,
And
I mean, they were saying on the radios are lighting up. Stay away from the 42 or the 4 truck. Stay away from Cletus.
I'm sure. I mean, with a little more experience, I think he would have been able to understand where he was in danger when he did spin.
Yeah.
And would have probably been able to avoid that. But yeah, I don't know. Really, it was fun to see his adventure this week.
Yeah, and I think we promoted it well, and hopefully we got some good eyes on the sport. And hopefully he keeps progressing and getting better, which I think he is. Would definitely get to see him again.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah.
Something else about the truck race too. Tire pressure seemed to be something that was really getting played with a lot. We saw Hocevar have to save his truck more than once,
dude. Pucker factor,
big time,
to 10.
Big time.
No dilation.
When he got caught in the sucker hole there and that tire was going down, I was on my feet pointing at my TV an inch away, trying to explain to the people in my living room why this guy not crashing was the most impressive part of the entire race so far. It was unreal.
It was incredible. It was one of the best saves I've ever seen in NASCAR history. 100%.
Yeah, he hopefully not a white fire suit because that would have been a mess. But
that would have been bad.
I was very impressed with. I mean, he's not he's no stranger to the truck series or any other series because he was in the Riley series too, and he had to do some big saving him, in some other situations that race too. But he spent a lot of time this weekend just trying to save the truck, which was fun to kind of watch. And he ended up charging back up and finishing on the lead lap, being 3 laps down, whatever. Unfortunately, a car that went laps down early and did not return was Tony Stewart in the 25, the Ram colleague program. The hype, talking about hype and about, some of the stars coming out to race, Travis Pastrana, Tony Stewart, Cletus McFarland. Those were kind of the big dogs on the block in terms of who NASCAR was helping promote or who was being promoted through NASCAR for that truck race. But Tony gets shellacked up into the wall early.
Garcia hard.
Rough, man.
Yeah.
And not able to finish the race. So all that hype, all that news, all those headlines for and very unfortuitous end to his day in that Ram. Those Ram trucks looked good out there on track though.
Yeah, I think Justin Haley, he led the most laps in a colleague truck. So I don't know. Minnie Tyrell, came home with the top 20 first ever truck race. First time at Daytona because, he had to run the ARCA race in order to get approved for the truck race. He had to run the ARCA race the next day and to get approved for the truck race because that makes sense. So
that's another video for another video is even understanding what the licensing process is like. Because Brad Keselowski had to go through his licensing process again before he came back for Daytona after he hurt himself on the mountains, on the slopes.
Yeah.
Which you'd think, like, from the outside looking in, like a driver like that, why does he need to get relicensed? He raced last year, like what? And I don't, there's more. They
should have made him run They should have made him run the Xfinity race in Atlanta next week to approve him for Daytona.
That would have been something. The O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series, buddy. The O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series.
Damn it.
I feel like a lot of people have been getting called the I keep calling it Xfinity track.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, the Ram deal. Cool. I think you saw the hype around Ram and just the amount of who's who around there. We had Dana White up in the booth, clearly knowing nothing about NASCAR.
Oh, it was fun, wasn't it? That was a fun conversation.
That was that. Talk about. I wish I had Q-tip my ears so hard they bled. Like I was done with it.
It was
Between
rough
Jamie
one.
Little and Dana White
Oh.
matching their knowledge of NASCAR up there in the booth. But yeah, no, I mean that Ram program is going to be big. They're infusing a lot of money, so that's always good.
Yeah,
so
good for the sport. Good things to come. It does dovetail kind of into what Rams plans for the future may be. There's conversation happening around the idea that Ram may enter the Cup Series in 2028, 2027,
7 or 8. Yeah,
nothing is confirmed, so don't take our word as
they're
gospel.
Going.
But
yeah, I think they're aiming for 27, but 28. Yeah, I mean, we have a nice little tidbit. Someone brought this up on Reddit actually, and I thought it was worth talking about. It says Rick Ware is a genius. That's the headline. Dodge is planning on coming to Cup in 2027. Apparently, there's going to be 4 new charters for a new OEM. That's true. Legacy is buying a Rick Ware charter, which is true. RFK needs to buy her 3rd, which is true. Rick Ware will sell both of them, but they will switch to Dodge, earning those 2 charters.
Yeah.
And this plays into the fact that they switched to Chevrolet this year to be aligned with RCR, who it's kind of an open secret that RCR is building the Dodge engines.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, Rick Ware's the greatest businessman in NASCAR. He's selling 2 charters and then getting 2.
Them. How does that process? Do you know how that works? Do they just give them to him for funsies?
I think free? I don't know if it. I have no clue. I don't know if it's like
that'd be fun.
It's like some
understand as it gets closer.
They drop like a what's the thing? They drop like a Venmo link, and then they're like, and you got to, and then once the Venmo comes through, you get the email that's the charter, because the charter's just an email, right?
I mean, what else could it be?
No, I mean that's legit. It's just an email. It's just an email with a doc. It's just a Google Doc, pretty much.
It's a $45 million email.
But no, I do. In all seriousness, I do kind of want to touch on that just real quick. Rick Ware had 4 charters running around there in the back, like just getting on every week. His cars were wrecking each other for 59th. And here he is. Obviously they are the least competitive car in the Cup Series, but they're no longer like just dog ass. 5 laps down within the first 10 laps. And now they've built a somewhat respectable organization and have done it in the most business smart way. They have single-handedly like proven what the charter system can be as far as profiting for teams. And I'm really glad that didn't get brought up until now after the trial.
Yeah,
I think it might have hurt the argument there, but
it definitely could have. They are
more on the trial later.
Yeah. RWR though, they are setting like the business standard though for like how you can use the charter system outside of the competitive on track racing. How can you use the charter system as a business plan for your team? I think RWR is doing it really well, and I think Legacy is also trying to do that as well. But no one greater than Rick Ware in terms of playing Professor Finesser in changing.
I like that.
Manufacturers.
I like that a lot. That was good.
From one place to the next. You can have that one for free, buddy. I'll give that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, Rick Ware, a savvy business owner. I mean, he's doing what's right for his organization and his people and his allegiances that he has, and making some money. Because if you don't know, Rick Ware races in motocross. He's had drag cars. He's had a little bit of everything. He's got power boats at one point.
Got a Pro Late model in the car store.
Yeah, he's got stuff all over the place. So it's not just like he's trying to put food on the table for his NASCAR Cup Series team, but he's also trying to help and prevent. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Pro Late model was very successful this past season, correct?
They won the owners championship in the car store.
So there you go. There's where it all comes back full circle for RWR. So I think it's a good point.
Biggest small team in racing.
Yeah. Speaking of, the final point here for the trucks is Chandler Smith wins this race for Front Row Motorsports. A huge win for FRM, especially after the lawsuit. It's funny because all this week's winners were involved in some way, shape, or form in that lawsuit, and we'll touch
season
more on
1
it,
cast of the trial. they made it all the way to the
Full circle.
series finale.
Yeah. What did you think of the broadcast call truck series? I thought they had a great booth. It definitely was better. It trending up. So I know I saw people complaining about it online, and I just didn't want to like sit here and cast stones at a glass house. But it
was bad. It was horrible, dude. Just Chandler Smith won. Pretty thrilling finish.
It was that lap in particular was not awesome. We got to get a little more.
No, it's kind of the most important one too.
I know.
Yeah.
Eric, bring it to the truck series, please.
Please. Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Yeah, shout out to him. Arca, infinitely more bearable to watch when Eric Brennan's in the booth.
Ton of fun to listen to. So hopefully he gets that shot. But we'll move on from trucks and from broadcasting over to the O'Reilly's Auto Parts series. We'll keep it fairly brief here because we're going to touch on these 2 points more in detail at a later segment in the show. But Austin Hill, the super speedway merchant, absolutely blows the doors off of everybody again. This is his 4th time winning at Daytona. Yes, he is that good at super speedways, but also, yes, the field is that bad at coming together and cooperating to try to beat him. So we'll hit more on that. It was also interesting, O'Reilly's Auto Parts series, to see Natalie Decker back in the car. She had a few fun headlines this weekend that were all over the place. If you haven't seen them, go ahead and do your own due diligence. There was a lot of conversation around some very particular things that she was up to, making some interesting choices as she was both on and off track this weekend at Daytona. It
was good. You
right?
navigated that well.
I hit the PR points. That was my media train. It kicked in. The duels, buddy.
The duels, yeah. Man, okay, so I do want to touch on that. We got done with the Clash episode, and I started really thinking about like where I wanted the Clash to be.
Okay.
And I was like, man. I'm starting to warm up to the idea of Daytona. Like a good 35 lapper, just balls to the wall, like kind of deal. And then the duels happened.
At first,
and we're running over people in the duels, and we just can't keep it straight in the duels.
It was that first duel was rough. It was definitely rough.
It was painful to watch. I was sitting there. I had all these warm and fuzzies coming into Daytona, and these duels just like I was just like, man, this won't it, bro.
You have to think as car owners. If you're a car owner sitting watching a duel, if you're Rick Hendrick and you're back-to-back Daytona 500 champion William Byron gets wrecked out in a duel and has to go to a backup car, you can't be too pleased with the state of the duels. And for them to move the Clash back there, I think you'd get what you saw on that first duel and then some. So,
I
imagine that has changed your perspective on where you would like to see the Clash be. Because I don't think it would end well. It doesn't seem logistically reasonable to put it at Daytona based on what we've seen.
I guess we have that topic. We'll hit more on the Clash later too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some anti-Italian American bias against my boy Anthony Alfredo. I don't know, man. It was a heartbreaker for him. I joke, but it was a heartbreaker for him in the 62. They had set sail amongst the open cars. They were clean and clear through in their duel. And unfortunately, there was some type of like hosing or tubing that had come dislodged during the duel, and they failed post-race tech and gave BJ McLeod the opportunity to advance to the 500. In that was in the second duel. I think the most emphatic, transfer.
Hang on. Get loud for McLeod.
Oh, baby, we do.
Just got to. Big ballin', boasting, about I don't give a. He went off on the fuel savings, dude, boasting about, man, let's race. I'm sick of this fuel saving. Let's race. I'll wreck this car. I got another one.
He don't give a
Big
damn.
balling. Yeah, just wiping his ass with $100 bills.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
BJ McLeod's
strolling into the 500, dude.
BJ McLeod, man. He wears that affliction gear with the rhinestone t-shirts, and I'm like, hell yeah, brother, get out there.
Dude, BJ McLeod's not sponsored by Affliction. Affliction is sponsored by BJ McLeod.
You tell him, buddy. You tell him.
Right. Yeah.
BJ makes the race. We'll get to what happened to him in the 500 later on, but it was tough, a tough day for Anthony Alfredo and team. He ended up also not qualifying in the O'Reilly series in his Viking Motorsports entry.
To finish first, you first must finish, and to finish, you first must start.
He didn't the goddamn race. They end up doing some creative business deal. After that car didn't qualify, they put him in the 4 car for Cesar Vaccarella with Dude Wipes on board. I'm sure that made sense for all the parties involved, but he ends up getting in the car, had a pretty good run. Dude,
wipe me.
Dude, I needed some wipes in that race. But it was that's the Italian American bias of the week. Anthony Alfredo, we love Fast Pasta. He's friend of the show, Fast Pasta. But
is he?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start saying people are friends of the show, and then maybe people will believe it. And who knows? Yeah. Maybe they'll become friends of the show. Casey Mears was where I was circling back to.
Yes.
What a ride for Casey Mears. I mean, gets essentially wrecks out of the first duel. The car's in good enough shape to get back out there and ends up advancing.
Yeah. Yeah. Spins out in the grass and then Lightning McQueen's that son of a bitch. Straight on through there. Cole Trickle, man. Shout out to Robert Duvall. Rest in peace.
Paul, pour one out for Duvall.
Hell yeah. I was going to pour out my
Don't do
seltzer,
that.
but I feel like that'd be sacrilegious.
Be a sticky mess.
It would. And it's not mellow yellow. But yeah, no, I mean, Casey Mears, yeah, he made the Daytona 500, tore the they withdrew from Atlanta. Yeah. Likely because
I don't think they have another car, do they?
No. But hey, you're in the Daytona 500. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, that is what it's all about for those teams. It's not about, it's not about necessarily winning the 500. It's about making the big show because it is the Great American Race. Who else didn't make the show there?
Corey LaJoie missed the show for the second week in a row. Mr. I don't want to race on Saturdays did not end up racing on Sunday. He could not make it into the 500 in his duel in the 99 RFK machine. Those RFK cars, I don't think there's anything wrong with them cars, buddy. They look fast. They looked real good out there in the duels and real good in the 500. So unfortunate for Corey that he could not, get over the hump there and get into the race. I'm sure the RFK program would have loved to have had a 4th car out there based on kind of what we saw at the end of the 500 and being in contention. Corey, we poke and we prod, but a very seasoned super speedway racer who knows what the right move is to make and knows when it's time to take a chance. But he unfortunately did not qualify for the 500.
Hey man, how many fans were in the stands that Thursday?
I don't know. It didn't look. I don't know. It didn't look super busy.
Over under 12.
I was trying to be optimistic, buddy. Damn you, buddy. Damn you. I love the duels, though. I wish I could have been at the duels this year. I would have been fan number 13 sitting down there at the start finish line.
Hey,
I don't know.
All the 12s out there, Sal's to 13. All right, moving on.
The Daytona 500, buddy.
It is the Great American Race.
The greatest of Great American Races. I mean, of recent memory that I can recall, but we'll come to that in a moment. Tyler Reddick.
Old Red Dog.
Zips by, gets himself in a great position. wins this race. I don't know.
On a race for sure.
It was something. That last lap was there was a lot to talk about on that last lap,
dude. It was an ADHD person's dream. I was thoroughly stimulated throughout that last lap, dude. I was like, Carson Osmar gets started, oh, and then Chase Elliott took the lead. I'm like, oh,
it's like spotting squirrels.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was incredible.
I really thought Carson Hocevar had that thing. I thought he had that thing in the bag until
dart without feathers if I've ever seen one. Oh, dude, the entire last 2 laps when he's up there, I was like, "There's no shot he makes it to the flag. There's no shot."
And once I seen him like trying to block the lanes, and he was up on top there with Eric Jones, and then Stenhouse was behind Jones.
Rick don't play that.
No,
Rick was like,
it was. There were some choices. There were some choices that got made on that top line. Let me tell you, Hocevar paid the price.
He sent him down there. We'll be seeing you.
Yeah, we'll see you in Atlanta, bud. But he was looking like he had a chance. So it was good to see him have a good weekend. But yeah.
Hey, look, Carson, man, he adds flair and excitement, and that's all you can ask out of someone. And I love it. And like we said, we'll see him in Atlanta on the turn 2.
and then we went through the emotional roller coaster of Chase Elliott taking the lead. We saw him in the 38 kind of somehow sort of kind of working together. The 38 trying to set himself up for a last kind of corner overtake. And then out of nowhere comes the 45, helped by the 35, his teammate Riley Herbst. They both come together. Herbst gives him the biggest push he could to get up to the back of the 38. He ends up following him through. The 45 and the 38 split the 9 and the 38. I'm sorry, the 45 and the 35 split the 9 and the 38. They leave him in the middle, and on to turn 4 we came. The exit of turn 4. This was the
makes you appreciate Mike Joy even more.
Lord knows that man has a brain that if I had half the brain Mike Joy had, I would be here.
Wouldn't be, yeah. But and I mean, coming through 4, I mean, Reddick, there were a lot of big brain moves there.
Yeah.
Elliott, he could have tried to throw a block on Reddick and probably caused that wreck 100 yards before it actually happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, the run from Timbuktu coming down the back straightaway for Tyler Reddick.
It was a big run.
Yeah. Big old meaty run. And he was able to stake through there, win the Daytona 500. And he was the only car to not crash.
The 35
was he not? Everybody wrecked
as they came across the start finish line in the trial on the front stretch. The 35 just drifts up and away into the third lane to try to make a move. 35 tries to make a move around the outside to beat the 9. After the 45 was seemingly clear of both. The 35 though, just if you listen back to some of the radio, because I know this is something that people are talking about online right now, and Riley Herbst did great teamwork from Riley Herbst. Everybody's giving him all his flowers for being a team player, helping the 45 get into a position to win the race. But the 35 goes to make his own move to win the race. Now, from what I understand, the in-car audio, the spotter was not like, there was some lapses in communication toward the end of that race. Now, you can all go out on your own and debate this, but he sounded like he cleared himself up into the 6 car and caused that entire calamity to unfold right at the start-finish line.
Look, Sal.
Are you putting your tinfoil hat on right now?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. Here, everybody else is putting their tinfoil hat on. I might be the only one not.
I like that. Give us a take in reality.
If you ran dog ass last all of last year, and you're coming off turn 4, and you see an opportunity, and you see that you have a run to make this 3 wide to try to win the Daytona 500, are you not taking it?
1,000 times out of 1,000.
Exactly. People are giving Riley Herbst so much. It was not an egregious move by any means.
No.
You see him off turn 4. He's behind Reddick. He's pushing Reddick. He starts to go down to push Reddick by Elliott, And I think he realized in that moment, I have a run.
On my own run. I don't need to give him a bigger run. He's good.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
He literally, I think he recognized like, I have a run, and probably glanced in the review camera that they all have that is the bane of my existence. Realized the 6 ain't there yet, hung a right, and is like, if I can get there in time, the 6 is going to just shoot my ass out of a canyon, and I might have a shot to win the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it. It's not like Brad didn't hit. And here's the thing. Brad didn't hit him in the right rear quarter panel. Brad hit him in the corner of the bumper.
Yeah. It just wasn't
It was not.
If that bump had been square up, if Riley had been able to squeeze his way up closer to the wall, which is an incredibly difficult thing to do.
Dude,
but in that moment, he probably would have been one of the closest finishes at the 500 with that
dude
run.
I mean, here at the end of the day, it was a decision that it was a decision happening in too short of time to recognize, what was
thousands
what
of
the
seconds
consequences
these decisions get made.
Exactly. So
and just as quickly, the consequences happen, good and bad. So
there
was some conversation after the race about that move, between Keselowski coming out of the care center and Herbst as well. Brad Keselowski said the 35 just wrecked me out of nowhere for no reason. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. He had no chance of blocking my run. I had a huge run. I don't know if I could have gotten the 45 or the 47, but I would have liked to have found out because my run was coming fast and the 35 just wiped us and himself out. Pretty stupid. Which if I'm Brad K and I'm sitting in that seat, I guess that's what I would say. Because somebody took that chance away from me to win a 500 in a time where Brad Keselowski is closer to the end of the beginning in terms of his full-time Cup Series career, and how many more chances will he have to go out there and win another 500, win a 500? So it's I get the frustration. I can understand it.
Oh man, waving a cane, bro.
Literally waving a cane. I got in the car with a cane this week. That's insane.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I smell dark chocolate because that's awfully rich coming from Brad Keselowski. I mean, I've seen this man. There's a reason we called him Super Brad. I've seen him make quite a few moves that I would deem infinitely more egregious than what Riley Herbst made on that last lap, man. Yeah. I mean, it's the Daytona 500. You got to do what you got to do.
You're not
he
taking
made
the biggest swing to win the race at any race in particular. This is the one you're going to have. But Herbst had also been quoted. We all got spread out wide down the back straightaway, and obviously I chose to go with the 45, pushed him. He made that move on the 9 to go side by side. I don't know what happened. What happened was he tried to make a move to win. So I think if you're listening to Below the Yellow Line, Riley Herbst stands. We stand strong with Riley Herbst on his choice to wash up onto that top line to try to get that run, because it very easily could have been the deciding move of the 500.
It's a matter of inches on whether or not he clears Brad and is able to at least mount a charge. Now, I don't know if it would have worked. He had a hell of a run. I don't know if it would have worked. I don't even know if, that might have been what got it for Reddick. And I guess that'll put the tinfoil hat on for other people, because I don't know if Elliott maybe could have side sucked Reddick back and been able to at least get closer to him and maybe get him at the line. Because I mean, it was a fair amount of time left to go before they got to the start finish. But
one thing I did notice too was Reddick gave Elliott a pretty good shot in the chops coming up the front stretch. He put that right front kind of right behind the number on the 9 car. It just to seemingly to try to side draft, but washes into the car, slows down the 9, considerably enough that he ends up not being able to hold as good of a run as the 45 had. It was something seeing Jeff Gordon on top of the pit box. that clip, for how buttoned up Hendrick likes to be forward presenting in the way that they run their team, and they are. It was nice to see the anguish of defeat on somebody's face in a very real way from that organization, because they were just as close to winning this thing as anybody else was.
It's glad to see that someone at Hendrick cares that Chase Elliott lost the Daytona 500.
The fans certainly don't seem too worried about it in large
Well,
consensus.
the driver didn't seem too worried about it either.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. I think this might
Put
be
myself
Buddy's.
in more hot water real quick.
God, Buddy, you're already on every list.
Dude, boiling.
This might be Buddy's favorite talking point on our list of talk points this week. Buddy, why don't you give us a little recap on what happened here? Connor Zilisch making his full-time Cup Series debut in the Daytona 500. Why don't you unwrap this one for us and tell us a little bit of a story on how his day went?
All right. Look, okay, so this wreck here, with Connor Zilisch. All of you out there, look, I know I'm in the minority, and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. That wreck was Connor Zilich's fault. I know it's improbable. It's improbable to believe that could be the case, but it was his fault, 100%. Rookie makes rookie mistake. That's all it was. And that's the thing. It was a rookie making a rookie mistake. He came off the corner. You could see he was a little squirrely there. He almost got up into Justin. When he pulls off of Justin, he kind of same type of deal, just a little bit squirrely, comes up, hits the nose of Ross Chastain, gets Ross out of shape. Ross goes down into Cody, and then they all wreck. And he got over his skis. That's all it is, man. That's all it was. It's not, I feel like we just got, look, okay, here's my deal with Connor Zilisch. People know I don't, people think I hate the guy just for winning a bunch. And that's just not true. That's flat not true. I wanted him to win the Xfinity Championship because he deserved it. But I mean, I can't deal with the blind lack of accountability that his supporters show him. And it's just, I heard the most, it was nothing more than a rookie mistake. It was the wind. Come on.
Yeah, the wind was, I saw that. The wind was a crazy one.
The same wind that everybody else drove through off turn 4 and made it through fine.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on. So, I mean, it's one of those things. It was a rookie mistake, and and some people might say it's a rookie mistake. Why are you harping this much on it? Because somebody's got to be honest.
Yes.
Here.
There's a whole group of people out there that are harping on the fact that it was the wind. I think it just goes to show too, Justin Allgaier also put himself in a rookie makes rookie mistake situation in the 40, which kind of validates your point. I feel like that this is not an easy place for people who don't run the Cup Series to come to and lead laps and be competitive. You are on the razor's edge in these cars, and Allgaier and Zilisch both, have worlds of experience in, O'Reilly's Xfinity Series. So, it's just a different animal, and not just for it to happen to Zilisch, but for it to happen to Allgaier as well. It's the wind is doesn't really have a whole lot of argument there.
And it's not even just the wind. It's just the look. I mean, he made a rookie mistake. It happens as much. Look, I would be honest with you people, with the 94 Connor Zilisch pieces I've seen throughout the broadcast this week.
There was a lot.
I wasn't exactly heartbroken to see him spinning across the grass there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and say he's the worst driver ever, and that it's a X, Y, and Z. It's just he made a mistake, and that's all it is. And and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again.
It won't be the last time.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And that's okay. That really truly is okay. It's just we gotta be real about it. Justin Allgaier, that was a stupid move. I mean,
I saw what he was trying to do, but it wasn't there to do by the time he decided to do it.
Hey, look, imagine if that had been Brad Keselowski and not Denny Hamlin. I hate to have heard what Brad would have said about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you want to throw stones at Riley Herbst, you better throw half the Grand Canyon's pit of rocks at Justin Allgaier, dude.
Well, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
like,
different situations that in terms of the timing of the
he wrecked the
wrecks.
whole damn
I
field.
know he did. He caused one of the biggest wrecks of the day. So it's like these things
What a,
happen. It's part of speedway racing.
I guess.
It seems to me. It seems to me. It happens every time we go somewhere. It's just the same every time. You think we have it figured out by now?
Nah.
No. But all the negative about the
Yeah.
wrecks to talk about maybe some of the positive here. I think,
Yeah.
was this the best next gen 500 we've had in this new car? I want to keep it
I,
in those confines because there's,
yeah.
you start getting
Yeah.
out into left field. We start talking about
It's,
races from
yeah.
long ago. But
Yeah.
personally, I did think this was one of the best ones, if not the best one we've seen in this next gen car.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There were several things that I really liked out of this race. We'll touch on the fuel savings, I guess, a little bit more here in a second, but that was really only prevalent in stage 3. We saw tire wear come
Yeah.
into effect. You saw, and the reason I know that, you saw guys not running 2x2 on the bottom. They're running the top. After 20, 30 laps into a run, you saw the gaps between each car. It was half a car length, 3/4 of a car length between each car. Everybody was nobody was running straight right in line with each other. It was kind of offset because handling was coming into play. Tires were wearing. Daytona is the track is finally starting to age, and we're seeing it get put back in the driver's hands. That's why Connor Zilisch busted his ass off turn 4. It was because, I mean, it's not easy, and it's,
I think the
you were having to
perception.
drive the cars more than you have in the past, and it was so refreshing to see because it did like limit the, I feel like it helped limit the fuel savings aspect of it.
100%. I think the perception of it is, especially the 500, there's so many new people who tune into, watch this race in particular,
Yeah.
the Super Bowl of NASCAR, you know, go fast, foot down, go left, is kind of the perception of the average fan or the average, I shouldn't say the average fan, the average television viewer on a Sunday afternoon in February. But I think your point about the tire wear and especially about what we saw off turn 4 with the track,
Yeah.
it is a handful out there for these guys
Yeah.
running inches away from each other, at almost 200 miles an hour. It's no small feat. But the racing, I agree with you. The tire wear was something that I never thought I would see at Daytona. It was kind of nice. It was,
Yeah.
we
That's
bitch
cool.
and moan about tire wear everywhere. But it was kind of nice to see at Daytona because I don't think I haven't had a notable memory of tire wear at Daytona in a long time.
No, I was hoping for a caution with like about 20 to go or something. And I was like, dude, I'd like to see caution happen. And, some of these guys in the back, man, slap 4 on there, see what happens.
Yeah.
Let her eat. Like, yeah. I definitely thought this was the best. And what's great about this is that means it's just going to keep getting better.
It can only continue to get better, especially I think the track aging is really going to make these guys have to get up on it and really, have there's going to be different elements of super speedway racing at Daytona that have never happened before. So I hope they leave it alone just the way it is. Let it do its thing. Don't touch it. Don't talk about anything. Just let it be, and let everybody enjoy this kind of racing.
The
Because
baby's
it's great.
sleeping. Just let it be.
Yeah, just let her be. Good night. But team alliances didn't really seem as predominant.
No,
which
not in the race. No,
was made it interesting to see drivers have to choose what they wanted to do. Now, manufacturer alliance is very much so. You saw the pit cycles, everybody kind of going with their pit or with their manufacturer alliance, but it was interesting that the teams couldn't quite get to each other the way that maybe if you'd watched the duels, the RFK cars ran up at the front the whole way. So it was interesting to kind of not see that happen. And I like that there was no one-hit wonder winner. It was a guy, Tyler Reddick, who is a championship 4 driver in the former playoff format, was a competitor for the championship every not every year, but he was in the mix a lot of the time, and it was good to see.
He's a guy that if a fan is watching the Daytona 500 and sees Tyler Reddick win and wants to keep an eye on him after that, he's going to be someone that they're going to see success out of, and he's going to be someone up there every week. And I mean, Happy was real proud of that because a fellow Ginger won the Daytona 500.
And if Happy's happy, we're happy.
Oh man, we're eating good tonight, boys. Yeah. No, I mean, and here's the thing too, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
In Victory Lane. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, to see, you could tell how much this meant to him in that post-race interview. And I don't know about you, Sal. I mean, when Michael Jordan came in with 2311, I was like, all right, he's infusing money into it. He'll throw his name on a couple cars or whatever, and that'll be that. We won't ever see him.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, the other celebrity co-owner, Pitbull, I mean, we saw him more than Pitbull, and hell, we see him more than the actual owner of Trackhouse too at the racetrack. So, I mean, it was really cool to see Michael Jordan that excited about winning the Daytona 500 and that put himself out there in front of the masses. It was good for the sport, and you know what? He's living up to what he proclaimed in the trial. He wants all good for the sport,
and that was something that he reiterated throughout his time in front of media this entire week. And even in Victory Lane, you saw him with Jim France and the two of them sharing a hug. And, it seems like things are trending in the right direction. And just to see him, like you said, with it's hard for Michael Jordan to add another notch to his belt in terms of championships and
he's running out of fingers for the rings, man.
Dude. I mean, he's going to start having to put him on a chain, and he might not even have enough room on that. And the guy wins in everything he touches. And like you said, he made that investment in 2311, not a silent partner, somebody who's involved, somebody who understands the sport, somebody who's supportive of not just one of his drivers, but I thought it spoke volumes for MJ to get in front of a microphone, talk about Tyler Reddick, but then also say nice things about Riley Herbst and nice things about Bubba Wallace. And
Corey Heim. Yeah.
Corey Heim. Corey Heim had a great day too in that 67 car until he didn't. But there was a period of time where he was running really well. Also, it's great for that organization. So it's like, it's a family affair kind of over there at 2311. It feels very interconnected between all the drivers and the success of that team as a whole. So, I mean, MJ being one of the big faces of the sport right now, I think it's been really nice to see.
And also, come on, we all loved right after the trial 2311 winning the Daytona 500. Come on, we all love that.
That's their
we
victory
all
lap.
Love that. Dude, that was just one more, just like like just. I wonder, Judge Bell's sitting there watching at home, like, all right, just
they took care of that business.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. Like Ricky Bobby's dad at the end of Talladega Nights.
Judge Bell is Ricky Bobby's dad, confirmed. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
100%.
Breaking news.
100%. Yeah, that's the title of the episode right there. I guess the caution. No caution there at the end.
Correct. Yeah. I think we heard it. It was interesting to hear from Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who was leading that group at a certain point.
Yeah.
And as the wrecking began, he made the comment, at post-race about I was really hoping for that caution. Like, that would have put me in victory lane.
I mean,
yeah, which is kind of how he got it done the first time. But it's that's the rules. Them's is the rules, and we all play inside the rules. For me, I love the idea of, if it is not a detrimental safety hazard on track to the drivers or to anybody else, to let them race it back out to the start finish line. To me, I think that's a hard job. It's a fine line to have to sit in that tower and make that call with your finger hovering over that button. We talked a ton about officiating last year, I feel like, and it took
the story.
That was
the story of Speedways.
It took over as the thing, and it was so nice not to hear it happen. Like, sometimes when you're doing the right thing, people won't think you're doing anything at all, and that is exactly what happened this weekend for NASCAR.
Dude,
and that's why it's important to talk about how good it was.
I got so sick last year of seeing Elton Sawyer's ugly mug up on that TV. I'm like, why? I shouldn't know what you look like,
Yeah.
dude. I shouldn't. The only reason I should know what you look like is because you ran a Tennessee Volks car in the Busch Series back in 1998. That's the only reason I should know what the hell your face looks like. And I mean, yeah, I think it was the right call. I mean, you asked a lot of, or we didn't ask a lot of drivers. We weren't doing shit. We were sitting on our couch drinking beer. But other people,
Taylor Kitchen was
asked,
asking drivers.
yeah. What the consensus was. Did you feel it was safe to leave it green? And every driver was like, yeah, it's fine, and nobody saw a problem with it. Now I was definitely screaming at the TV when they wrecked down in turn 1, and they're coming off turn 2, and there was a 9, the 47 side by side, and I said, and the 9's creeping up on Ricky. I was like, they're gonna wait till this 9 gets the lead. My tinfoil hat was on.
But you were right to have the tinfoil hat on based on previous years,
dude. It was on. It was on, and the strap was too tight.
The blood was not flowing properly to the parts of Buddy's brain he needed.
No, but pleasantly surprised. And I mean, the whole week I felt like they officiated well. They had their hand off the button. It seemed like they had their feet up instead of up on it. So yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it, dude.
I felt like it was the right deal. So it was nice to see. Talk a little bit about the broadcast. Like you said, we watched from home, having a couple beers, enjoying our weekends. I wouldn't. People like to bitch and moan about Fox, and I've done my fair share of that in the past because, mostly for the commercial breaks. That's my biggest gripe with them. I understand that that's something that's typically out of their control. People pay. This is the deal. The business is set up. We have to play the commercials. I'm still going to complain about it because that's what people do. But overall, the Fox broadcast the entire weekend was a really solid B+ to me. There were a handful of moments where I kind of was like, but I always use Coda last year.
Clint Boyer arguing with Kevin Harvick just for the sake of arguing with him.
Clint Boyer is a very unique analyst in the booth.
Wow.
I don't know.
Dude, you look like you were about to have a stroke trying to put them words together.
I had to pick from a Rolodex of words, and that was the one that came to the front. It's a fun booth with Mike Joy and Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer. There's certain moments where I scratch my head, but overall, I think they do a great job there. I did think the CW broadcast, though, the broadcast crew
so much better
that the CW has is head and shoulders above everyone else. And that's not to discredit any of the other folks. It's just to say how good the people are. Yeah.
Riley series, my beloved.
Yeah,
incredible.
They could make paint drying sound exciting in that booth. And Mike Joy did a great job on the final lap. I was a big fan. It was classic Mike Joy call. That was great. But that's those folks over at CW, they know what they're doing too. But overall for me, B+. I thought it was cool. What you think watching it at home, buddy?
I mean, I thought it was fine. And it's another one of those things. If you don't realize the broadcast is then it probably did a fine job. And I at least for the 500, I felt like I was like, I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't notice it at all, and so I guess that's a cue to believe that it was actually okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hey, bro, we up.
Big up, big back. You know what else is big back is speed. Speed is back. If you don't remember from the early 2000s, the Speed Channel. I mean, Sal grew up watching Pinks and every other show Speed Channel was doing. Kevin Harvick
with Dave Despain, dude. Oh man!
And the coverage of like the Busch series, like Jimmy Spencer and
the NASCAR, the NBS 24/7.
Yeah.
Oh man,
how much fun was that?
Oh man, you're talking about jeans getting tight, man. Oh, I miss Speed, dude. I miss Speed.
The nostalgia is very there for Speed.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see, and this is a conversation that's been going around for quite a while, is will they ever bring it back? And Fox has owned the rights to Speed for a long time and just kind of had it on the back burner, just not doing anything with it, but they still had the opportunity to if it ever presented itself. And it seems now in this new form with Kevin Harvick and I think it's Will Buxton together,
Yeah.
they are going to do a show called Speed, where they're going to talk about racing throughout, all forms of racing. They're going to talk about NASCAR. They're going to talk about, I imagine, talk about a little bit of everything, but they mentioned like even sprint car racing as part of their conversation, which was really cool.
It seems like it's going to be a wind tunnel-esque show.
Yeah.
And with Kevin Harvick and Will Buxton, I mean, two great analysts, but also two people that I think can respect the sport while also having fun with it.
Yeah.
And I think both of them will I think they could talk a little shit in there too.
I like
that. And it looks like the Rolodex of drivers, I saw some clips. Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Larson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., pretty elite cast of characters. So I mean, dude, like I said, we up.
I think people really like Kevin Harvick, like drivers and industry folks.
Really like Kevin
I know
Harvick.
you really like him, but
I really
liked
Kevin
him as a
Harvick.
driver, but like not all drivers can go from driver to sports analyst. And I think, I don't know, you're
Boyer,
the biggest
Exhibit A.
You're the biggest Kevin Harvick fan I know. Did you, as a fan of him, is this the path you saw for him when he retired, where it was like he's going to be not just an analyst, but like he's the analyst right now, in my opinion.
I mean, he's been the best at everything, so I had no reason to believe that he wouldn't be the best at this too. So
there you go. I like that.
Yeah.
No, but that'll be really exciting to see Kevin Harvick get involved and do that with Will Buxton. Speed is back. I'm going to rattle off through a few of these here. The flyover got a lot of attention at Daytona. It's always sick. It's always a Thunderbirds, but it seemed like there was a lot more conversation around it because they did the practice runs. They do them every year. I guess more people's phones are faced up.
All right, I got to tell you. I went to the 500 2 years ago. I get down there for the duels, and we go over to the Hooters across the street for the wings, and we're sitting there. And we're just, chatting it up. We got some of the boys there having a few beers and just, and I just scared the shit out of Happy. And accurate, I mean, just
accurate reaction.
Perfect, accurate reaction. And I about jumped out of my seat. I scared the shit out of me, dude. And
oh yeah. The earth shakes. The earth shakes, dude.
Dude, it was absurd. It was absurd, and it's seriously one of the coolest things that I've ever gotten to witness. Look, man, not to get too far down the rabbit hole, but we got some things going on in the world right now. But them Thunderbirds go over and
it all just melts away.
America, baby. Like,
I don't know where my tax money goes, but I'll pay double the tax if I know it goes into that jet fuel that flies those bad boys.
As long as them things keep going back and forth, I'm with it.
I'm here for that. They want to set up a tax code where I can put extra into the jet fuel fund. You sign me up because I want more flyovers.
100%. That's right.
But it was badass. A lot of people got a chance to see it. A lot of people posted about it on social media, which kind of leads me into this broader conversation about like the celebrity presence at the 500 this year. Maybe it was just the right combination of people. Maybe it was more people. It felt like more, but to see
it felt like more.
It did feel to see like Marshawn Lynch, Puka Nakua. You had Kurt Russell. You had there was like who
Gruden.
else? Gruden was there. Caleb Presley was there.
They did a show from the Daytona 500. They didn't know a lick about racing, and it was very clear.
That was on the Fox First Take when they did first or whatever it was. Yeah, it was. Though, like for me and you, that's not for us. But like the way they produced that was very it was very approachable for someone who had never watched a NASCAR race before, because it felt like the lack of knowledge from some of the hosts was evident, But I think that also mirrored maybe some of the lack of knowledge of new fans at home that were, I saw a social video this week where a girl and her boyfriend went to the 500. They lived in Florida. And she's like, well, the NASCAR stadium's right around the corner. We left 5 minutes ago. We live so close to the stadium. And I'm like, first of all, the stadium. What are we calling the track's a stadium? Come on. What is this, Bush League?
No.
And then, Bush League move number 2, she leaves 5 minutes from the house to go to the track. You might as well park in Kalamazoo and walk. You're cooked, girl. But it was, it's good to see them kind of cater to new people, because there are a lot of new people that are kind of coming in. And for people like you and me, it's hard to keep that. It's hard to keep that mindset, but it's, I don't know. It was good to see.
Yeah. Bert Kreischer had a good time, I saw.
Oh, he had a great time.
Yeah. And then Bart Simpson waved the green flag.
Oh man. Yeah. It was just a dude in a yellow suit, which was crazy. I didn't know what they were going to do with that when they announced it. And then they pulled him out of Universal across the street, stuck him in the flag stand. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know if they were going to do a CGI thing or who knows what these people think about, but just to see that big. And you know what the funniest part was? The suit was so big. He was up in the flag stand. Dude's trying to take photos of the race of Bart Simpson waving the flag. He's geared up, all up
he's
and weird, trying to lean over,
trying to get this shot.
He looked like a Twizzler trying to get that shot, and I couldn't help but have a good laugh at that. But it was very cool to see. But I couldn't help
waved the shit out of that green flag, man.
Oh, just like Bart would have.
Yeah.
What do we got? We got two more left here. We're way over time, so we appreciate it if you're still hanging with us this deep into the show. But there's a lot to talk about. So
there is. Yeah.
Denny Hamlin, after the 500, talked a little bit about how there's maybe some super speedway fuel saving strategies, and how to kind of eliminate fuel saving. And he mentioned maybe the Clash being the place to test it out.
He Matt Weaver wrote a story on this, and basically the quote Hamlin had in it, he was talking about how NASCAR, Denny Hamlin says there's a super speedway fuel saving idea discussed by NASCAR and teams that involves using the Clash to try an experiment. And basically what he said was, as long as their insurance company is okay with it, you're going to have to speed up the cars, because right now we're so planted in the racetrack that we can just run really tight in a really tight pack, which we already discussed that, that's the tire wear in the track is wearing a little bit, and that's getting fixed. But one of the suggestions that we had talked about just a few days ago is come here next year for the Clash. Let a few of us come up here with a package that we think you won't see any fuel savings. You're just going to see people hanging on, which I feel like that implies lack of spoiler. And that would be the only fix. In fact, he elaborates to say, taking spoiler and slowing us down in the corners. More lift. We need more lifting.
This is the conversation, though, that's been had about the Gen 7 package.
Yeah.
Since the beginning. And I can hear the boomers already clamoring about, make the Cup cars have 1,000 horsepower again, or do more to make them have more horsepower. And that's what it feels like for me. It's going to come back to in the end.
Yeah. I think, I'm with it, dude. Let him go.
What if they just took the restrictor plate out? No restrictor plate.
I don't know that they can do that, because I think
that'd probably be dangerous.
That'd probably be dangerous. But I don't think it's too far-fetched of an idea to
taper spacer a little bigger, give him a little more breathing room.
Either that, or dude, let them open up the spoiler rules a little bit, man. Let them, if you want to run a bigger blade for a little bit more stability, take it off or whatever, kind of, work with that balance, put it back in the team's hands a little bit. That's never going to happen. And, well, I guess, I just read a quote, maybe it will happen, but, I'm so conditioned to believe that we're not going to get anything done, but,
we never know. We're in a new era. We're in a new era.
Yeah. I had one idea for the fuel savings, and that would be make the stage lengths to where you can where it's just, you make the final stage a little bit longer, maybe take 5 laps off of each of the first 2 stages and make it to where that final pit stop comes a little bit earlier and not with like 10, 15 to go, comes with like 25, 30 to go. And, then it becomes race it out. Or maybe you save that first stint, but we get a little bit more just all out, go for it on the back end of that. So I don't know. I feel like that's the best we can hope for, unless whatever experiment they do works out. So,
well, it's good that the conversation's at least happening. So we love to have the optimism and to be able to hang on and see what happens. Last point here, shout outs to the boss lady, Taylor Kitchen, covering the weekend this weekend at Daytona 500. What, buddy?
The fuck you do?
What do you mean? What'd you do?
Dude, representing us well. Dude, man, we ever tell y'all Taylor's great.
Buddy,
awesome.
Buddy, I almost got fired by Taylor this weekend. So, I was hanging on the edge of my seat there for a minute.
Hey, yeah, no, seriously though, shout out to Taylor down there covering the 500 from motorsport.com.
Very cool stuff.
Always just absolute, Taylor's great. Nothing more to say about that.
We love it.
Happy birthday to you, Sal.
Oh,
you had a birthday over the weekend?
Yeah, don't
remind me. Old 43?
47, 40, 45. I don't know. I feel like I'm 75.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
31 years old. It's terrible. It's all downhill from me.
That's, yeah.
Speaking of going downhill.
You, Unk.
Yeah, a big unk. They're just going to get a tattoo on my forehead, unk. It's really going to embrace it. The New Balances are in the mail. Anyway, as we continue to go downhill, we will each and every week we invite you to call us and give us your hottest takes and opinions on each and every weekend. You can call us anytime, really.
Anytime.
The phone lines are always open at 336-560-2895. You can call us anytime. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us what you feel, what you see, whatever pops into mind. But this week, we did have a caller, and I want to play that for you right now.
Hey, you guys remember for about 5 or 6 years there when the Indy 500 was absolutely cracked out with the DW12 and the first the Aero Kit era, and it was honestly it was fun there for a few years, but at some point the IndyCar series realized that they needed to make their most important race, actually mean something, and it needed to be a race where guys can dominate with a good car and a good strategy and usually come out on top. And unfortunately, NASCAR just refuses to accept that for the Daytona 500. We've gotten to the point now where, you never know who's going to win coming out of literally the last corner, any Daytona 500. But is that really what we want out of the Daytona 500? I don't know. It's not what I want to see for the rest of my life. And there's a reason that every Daytona 500 win feels a little less important than it did the year before. And I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting a Dale Earnhardt 98 style moment again, even though that race was boring. But it was well earned, and no one remembers it for being boring. They remember it for Dale winning the actual race. So I don't know. What do you guys think? That's all I can say.
Well, Seth, or whoever you are. I agree with him. That's why I was so excited to see a little bit more of the, things being back in the driver's hands. Mm-hmm. You look at some of those super speedway races from like the early 2000s. I look back at Dale Jr.'s 04 victory, or I'm trying to think of even, I look at the midfield of like Harvick's 07 win. Or not the midfield, the middle of the race, where just put it back in the driver's hands, make it about how who can balance having a fast car and handling. And that's something that we're severely lacking. And that, like you said, I mean, back to the point of, you want it to be a guy who you see on a weekly basis winning, and you want it to be someone who, is puts together an entire week's worth of effort and to I mean,
I agree. I think there's something to that, especially to the point that he made too about, you don't know who's going to win coming off the last corner. And I think for many years we've had this excitement factor where we want to see cars going 3 and 4 wide, and I think it's you kind of mentioned the cause of that already is, the finishes of the Daytona 500 don't look so different from the finish of an iRacing a fixed race.
No.
It's the cars are all very similar. They're all very close in construction and in tolerances in terms of how the cars are built and what they can do. And it's really about what the drivers can do behind the wheel of what they're given. I would like to see it change a little bit more. And I think we're trending in the right direction, especially with that last point we just talked about the fuel savings conversation. And give the best drivers more car to drive. And if drivers can't handle it, they're not as good of a driver as the driver that can. And I think we talked about that kind of through the year last year too, throughout the season, where there were moments where if some of these drivers had more car, it would have been something. But I mean, I think we're trending in the right direction. It's just not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take some more time to really see, that. I don't know. I don't think you're ever going to get a finish like the 98 500 again. They're never going to I don't think they're going to finish a race under checkered yellow. They're going to let them run back to the line according to the officials after this week. But
but no, I mean, you're not going to see the domination. Yeah, you're not going to see the domination anymore. And I kind of want it back.
The only one who's given good old fashioned ass whippings is Shane Van Gisbergen.
Hey, as God intended, really.
I mean, Kyle Larson puts on a good ass whipping, Bristol, but at a super speedway, it's definitely more difficult because of the structure of the car and how the whole thing is set up. But I don't know. Good call.
Good call. Thank you to whoever that was.
Any slop come across your feed this week, buddy?
I do. I got two. They're two quick ones, thankfully.
Spare us the pain of the slop.
Yeah. This one's a doozy. Most of them are at least like somewhat like, on keel, like, maybe this could fool a few boomers. This
usually does.
If he had entered NASCAR 5 years earlier and was given better equipment, I think he absolutely would have been a Cup Series champion and a Hall of Famer. Sabrina Carpenter on David Rudiman.
Sabrina Carpenter on David. I'd like to see that collab happen. Not to call anybody out, but that account in particular, if you want to put it back up on screen for just a second, please. That account in particular,
Stock Car Vault.
They have done a wild job of trolling and using some of this stuff.
To
really throw people off. That one is so out of left field that it's so funny.
That's less funny. AI slop and more meme worthy. So I did have to go and find something else that was AI slop worthy. And it wasn't hard to find because it was all over the place. The picture, and I'll get Sal to put it up on the screen here. The picture of Michael Jordan crying and hugging the Daytona 500 trophy that was posted by AI slop page, our favorite AI slop page, Fox Sports.
Yep.
The official Fox Sports account posted this very just they don't
Knife in
even
the
have the
heart,
right
man.
2311 logo.
That was the
It's
biggest
not
thing I
like,
noticed too.
I mean, and somehow it does say it. None of the words are messed up. Michael Jordan only has 5 fingers. Nothing crazy like that. It's just like
I love that.
there were so many pictures of Michael Jordan actually holding the Daytona 500 trophy. You didn't need to do that.
I understand them wanting to like recreate the iconic moment from the his basketball career, but like sometimes it's not, can we, but should we? And I think that goes into a lot of marketing, and it's something
That's
you gotta think. I get the idea,
stupid,
like it's
dude. It was stupid.
Trying to be cool with your
this
AI
is
in front of your
it's
cool
fucking
friends.
stupid.
It's
Stupid. Like stupid.
New segment of the show, Stupid with Buddy Bully.
Yeah. It's a cousin to the AI slop. Yeah.
Cousin to the AI slop, brother to the grind my gears section of the show. Now, if you're still with us here, you notice we didn't talk much about the O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series. At the top of the show, we mentioned that Austin Hill won. Austin Hill grinds my gears, and it has nothing to do with Austin Hill in particular. Hold on, stick with me. Austin Hill put on a good we talked about how there's good old-fashioned ass whippings. Austin Hill put on a good old-fashioned ass whipping at Daytona this weekend. Not, my car's out 10 seconds ahead, everybody 2 laps ahead like it was back in the 1970, whatever, you pawpaw's dead. But Austin Hill knows how to put this car at the front and keep it there. And he put on a belt-to-ass performance, and he does it every time he comes to Daytona. And my biggest issue with it is people cannot seem to comprehend why he is able to do this. And he's able to do it, number one, because RCR has a great super speedway package and a great program, and whatever they're doing, when the statute of limitations runs out and they make a documentary about this guy, they're going to find out all the secrets. Fine. Reason number 2, the field just lets him do it. They just let Austin Hill, Bobby Hill in a fighter jet, walks all over this field. Respectfully. Walks all over these guys. And I get they have their obligations to their manufacturers and their teammates, but what do you want to do? Like, you're going to let this guy just embarrass the field over and over and over again at super speedways? Like, it grinds my gears that it happens over and over and over.
Dude, it's ridiculous because it's like he puts on enough of a show getting to the front and being able to hold the lead. You get to the last lap of this damn thing, he doesn't have to do anything.
Nope.
Because nobody knows what to do. It's like a dog. It's like a dog when he catches the mail truck, Wile E. Coyote when he finally smashes the Roadrunner with a rock, and Incel when he finally gets a girl. You don't know what to do with them when they get there. They have no clue what to do on the last lap of this race to get around them.
You saw them try. There was an attempt made. It wasn't a particularly enthusiastic attempt, from what I could tell. The fact that it came as late as it did in the race, coming off of turn 3.
Dude, you got to shuffle this sumbitch out.
You got
3-4 laps to go.
You can't give him a chance because he is so good at making those snaps. He's going to take every run he can get. He said it he said it out loud to people. So he's got him up on a dash every minute of that race. He's ready to do something. They had a chance to let Brennan Poole give this guy a run for his money, and they shoved him too hard. And here comes Jordan Anderson and Justin Allgaier coming up. How many super speedway races has Junior Motorsports given away to RCR a lot? How many? Too many.
A lot.
But it's
a
like
lot.
And Austin Hill, even as the 7 comes up and Jordan Anderson's there together, they're cruising side by side. Austin Hill just throws the block down on the bottom. Scoots right off into the victory lane. Like, what are you doing? Challenge the guy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying wreck him. I'm not saying drive through him. I'm not saying wreck him. You got to be the best to beat the best, and Austin Hill is the best at these tracks. There's a way to beat this guy if the rest of the field can get their head out of their ass for 5 minutes and get together.
I said it last week. I could win an Xfinity Super Speedway race. You know how? You know how I'd
get
win
in the
it?
21 car.
What? 4 laps to go. Give him a nice little boot scooting buggy up the hill. We'll be seeing you.
MJ commented on one of my TikTok videos this weekend, and she said, the power of friendship is the only thing that can defeat Austin Hill. And that's,
wow.
Poetic, prophetic, true. End of my
problematic.
Rant. Yeah. It's the end of my rant, but
yeah,
get it together, guys.
Yeah. It thoroughly pissed me off too. What pissed me off more is that it was the most predictable thing ever. I should have. There should be a prop bet on how many guys are going to take a swipe at him on the last lap and all fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's insane. All right. Last week we picked who would finish last in the Daytona 500, and we have our results. I picked Corey LaJoie, who we already covered, didn't even make the race, so took myself out of contention early on that one.
Yeah. To finish first, you first must. To finish last, you first must probably not finish.
But race.
Finish last, you have to make the race.
Tough, man. So yeah, obviously that didn't work out too well for Sal. So already down on that one.
Kyle Busch finished 15th.
Kyle Busch finished 15th.
Hang on.
You gonna talk about that?
Did you see the last lap
for Kyle Busch?
Or for 2 laps to go, Kyle Busch is running 30th and just lets off and just lets the field yard it. You could hear the crew just like, what the are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, what am I going to do? Hurry up into the wreck?
Mm-hmm. And it worked.
Valid. It worked.
And it
to
worked.
Perfection. He would have been right in the middle. He would have wrecked down in turn 1 and been in a pile of smoking heap down there with no caution thrown with the rest of them.
He made up 15 spots avoiding the wreck.
You know how many that is? 15.
The last spots.
That's a lot of spots.
More than a dozen. Big brain move
by Kyle Busch. Thank gosh Corey LaJoie though missed the race, because I think that might have cost me the victory in the race, Paul.
Would have been close.
Who's finishing last in Atlanta?
So before we do that, BJ McLeod was the last place finisher for the 500. He wrecked out early. I guess he had sounded like he had a loose wheel. Something to that nature.
Something broke.
Ends up slapping the wall right in the ass, wrecking down like lap 4 or 5. It wasn't a long run for the 78.
Tough job.
Good guy. Tough situation. Yeah. For me at Atlanta, Austin Cindric, Daddy Eddie ass last.
Why?
I was paying attention to the way the 2-car raced at Daytona, and he was taking some pretty big hacks at a certain point to try to put himself in a position to run with the 2 and the 22 and the 12, and ultimately ends up just getting absolutely mollywopped, and ends up riding around at the back of the field for a while. Finished, I don't know, in the 30s. Just not a great day for him. And I thought back to the Atlanta race last year with Hocevar and Kyle Busch, and Cindric led a lot of those laps as well. And I'm on these super speedway or these drafting tracks, whatever you want to call them. I kind of have this, I'm going to stick to the theme of checkers or wreckers. And I feel like Austin Cindric is a guy who, if he's not finishing in first or in the top 5 or 10 cars, there is a situation he's going to be in where he does not finish the race at all. It's just a matter of when does that happen for the field. And that is why I have selected Austin Cindric. Again, this is not an indictment on any driver's ability
this
or
is
skill
cold
set.
hard facts. Hard facts.
Cold hard hot take.
Facts and statistics. And you know what they say about statistics? Statistics say that 1 out of 3 pigs will build their house out of bricks.
The smartest pigs. The smartest pigs.
That's right.
Broken clocks right twice a day, right, buddy? Go ahead.
That's damn. I'm taking the layup, dude. JJ Yaley
I love that.
taking the layup. Hey, look, but here's the thing. That's not as much of a layup as we may think. I'm just hoping, you don't run every week. Maybe there's some mechanical gremlins that hop up there on lap one, one or two, and shoes me in for 2 in a row here. So
wouldn't be the most unbelievable thing.
Look, I'm not going for the story. I'm going for the victory.
Okay, he's
and
playing
by victory, I mean the last place.
He's playing chess, not checkers. A tactile game for Buddy Pulley to win no prize in the who's last standings at the end of this.
I'm gonna be like Gio Ruggiero too. I ain't gonna smile about it neither.
I don't want to even see you thinking about smiling.
No.
So typically this part of the show, we leave open for any ranting or anything we kind of saw that caught us off guard or out of the corner of our eye. Really not a ton I could think of that we haven't already talked about.
What is this segment called?
It is called, it doesn't have a name.
Oh, this isn't the Italian goodbye.
We can begin the Italian goodbye.
I think
if we'd like.
Yeah. We gotta get some actual music overlay there.
Some little Frank Sinatra in the background. Leading us into the Italian goodbye. I love to see Brennan Poole in the Roma car, all Italian, all day long, running at the front of the field in the O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series. That's my.
Sure.
I don't know.
That's it.
There was one other event from the O'Reilly's race too. I wish those drivers would just. I wish those drivers would just pay a little more attention to their surroundings and be a little more careful out there.
Sal, what's your favorite Daytona 500?
My favorite?
Is it 2016?
Should be my favorite, but it hurts to watch.
I was about to say it should not be your favorite.
It's one of the better results, but it was the best result. But I don't know. I've always been a fan of the lore of the 98 500 because of Dale Earnhardt. I'm not a, my guy got close once and then got beat in the closest finish of all time. So it there's a little scarring there.
Yeah. 07 500 for me. For obvious reasons. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was 10 years old. I had got a nice brand new Shell Pennzoil hat from NASCAR.com. Came like 2 days before the race. Had that on, and Kevin Harvick came barreling up there from 8th, and I still remember crying like a baby, absolutely beside myself. I remember a couple people calling me on the phone, and they were like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "I'm just so happy. Kevin Harvick won the Great American Race. It's incredible."
Look at that.
So,
now friend of the show, Kevin Harvick. You talk to him at Car Store.
Great friend of the show, Kevin Harvick. Lots of friends. Yeah, I don't know. I guess a 500 that maybe wasn't maybe my favorite driver didn't win. Underrated 500, the 2010 Daytona 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm googling
last 500 on the old surface. They're slipping, sliding. They had them up on the dash and sideways.
I don't remember a ton of the 500s that I haven't now had to go back and rewatch, which is like strange to me. But I don't know. I mean, the one that was, I could tell you the heartbreakers more than I can tell you the favorites. And Mark Martin, right? That was how?
Yeah.
That one, it was to me. My dad was a huge Mark Martin fan. So
man, that sucks, huh?
That was tough. And then 2016,
I'm sure it was.
2016 was a real rough. That was a rough one. And that was the same year too. Same year? That was the same year they went to the Coke 600 and put belt to ass.
Took him behind the wet. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even belt to ass is a conservative term. I've never. I mean, I'm going to go on a little tire. He pit and was in his pit stall for 11 seconds. Came out 5 seconds ahead of Denny Hamlin in P2. The car was so geeked up. One day, I want to fly up to the mountain that Cole Pern is hiding in a cave, like the Grinch up there in Canada, and I'm gonna bang on his door, and I need to know what that car was up to. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Kevin Harvick finished second in that race.
Did he?
He did. Yep. Yep.
I was too busy. I was too busy trying to do a backflip off my couch.
Just locked in. Just
locked in on the ass whipping.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Going to Atlanta next week.
Yeah, man. What do you feel? I mean, Atlanta's a fun place.
Big fan of it. New Atlanta. I think it's I loved old Atlanta, but I can't lie. It's entertaining as all get out. It's the best super speedway we have. And I'm a big fan of calling it a super speedway because it abbreviates to ass. And we're a big fan of that too. So I guess it's I don't even want to say the name, but it's not even Atlanta Motor Speedway anymore. It's I'm not saying it.
The Echo Park Automotive Speedway.
I don't know. You cut
out.
I
don't know. It's hard for me not to call it Atlanta Motor Speedway. I understand that
it's Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's because it's what it is.
But
yeah.
But I don't agree with it. Anyway, that is what it is. Yeah. But I think Atlanta will be a great time. I mean,
dude, I'll drink a beer to it.
Beer or 2 or 10.
Yeah. I don't know. You got any races coming up? I'm off for a couple weeks.
Indoor Dirt Nationals next weekend in Trenton.
Weird racing.
That's too cold to go racing outside up here yet, buddy. We don't all get to be, privileged living in the Southeast where the sun shines all day long.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah. Coming from the guy who was at a race where it sleeted 2 weeks ago.
Go ahead,
week and a half ago. Yeah. Soup in a cup, baby. Soup in a cup.
No, yeah, everything is still indoor for now. And then I don't know, hopefully get myself out. I'll be at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in March for the Cup Series race, the race weekend.
You can't bring beer in there, right?
I do. I have been made aware of this.
Okay.
Unfortunate that Vegas, for those who've never been or who have been, it's the cheapest, most expensive city in the country. And by cheapest, I mean the businesses are the cheapest and the price of the goods and services are the most expensive. I can't wait to drink 9 $25 beers while I'm there. It is going to put me in irrecoverable financial debt. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I might get back when I go to my other racetracks throughout the year. So hopefully we'll have a good time. Yep. Anything coming up for you? You're off? Where were you last week? Florence?
Yeah, I was at Florence last week, which we talked about that, but I think, did we?
I don't think so.
No, we hadn't. Yeah, I was at the Icebreaker at Florence. That was a big to-do. You could watch on tour and figure out what happened there. I ain't giving you no spoilers. You go watch the show. I'll be at Southern National Motorsports Park in a couple weeks for the car store season opener. I don't have a cup race until Martinsville, I don't think. Yeah, I don't have a cup race till Martinsville, so yeah.
All right, everybody lay low, getting the job done. Buddy will be busy on tour. Make sure you're tuning in to Buddy on ATYL Media. Make sure you're liking and following at the Buddy Pulley on social media. You can follow Sal at SlyJob Sal, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere your fingers touch your screen on social media. I really don't have much in terms of Italian goodbye, buddy. I think we kind of spread our goodbye out. We really showered the audience.
This whole thing was a goodbye.
Since we started talking about Taylor covering for the 500, it's been a goodbye. So
we're getting fired. Yeah.
Oh, when are we not?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, but make sure you follow us on social media, the Buddy Pulley at the old SlyJob Sal here, and of course make sure you're following, liking, and subscribing all the content that we do here on Above the Yellow Line media. Everybody here works incredibly hard to do their shows and to do their content each and every week, writing articles, publishing videos, editing. It's a village effort. So we hope you see it on your side the way we see it on ours. And with that in mind, buddy, is that it? You want to take us out to the close?
Bye.
That's it. I'm leaving it.